Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the news briefing, September 10th, 2025. Some major safety work is set for Salinas Road in the Pajaro area. This project will include an area that runs from Pajaro River Bridge to just south of Railroad Avenue, and it's going to get a lot of fantastic safety improvements. We're very pleased to have our Chief of Public Works, Enrique Saavedra, here to talk about the project. Hi, Enrique.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy to talk about this project that the board recently awarded. Again, it's a project to resurface Porter and Salinas Road in the town of Pajaro, and it's slated to start later this month, September, maybe the last week of September, and it'll go through the end of October. So we're very anxious about that project. As with all construction projects, there's always traffic impacts. And so we'll be working closely with the community of Pajaro to address or minimize those impacts as much as possible. But nevertheless, construction activity has impacts. We're also be talking to the local business around Pajaro about parking. During the construction work, there'll be parking restrictions along Salinas Road. And I know parking is a very tight commodity in Pajaro. So we'll be working with the businesses to kind of minimize those parking disruptions as much as possible. And hopefully with the cooperation, we'll be able to make this a successful project. Just to give you more details about the project itself. Again, it's a project to resurface the roads. This is to give you a new surface on the roads, new striping. We're also going to add some pedestrian, landings or walkable features to make the sidewalks more walkable. And then we're going to add some traffic calming, like speed radar feedback signs and additional work at the signal of Porter and San Juan itself. So anyway, we're excited about the project. Altogether, the project is about the construction work is about $750,000, $750,000. So it's quite a big investment that the board approved for the town for this road. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions or about the project or details about it.
Thank you very much, Enrique. This is really a fantastic project. A lot of people have looked forward to this for some time. When do we anticipate work beginning?
We anticipate the work to begin at the end of September, so maybe the week of 22nd or thereabouts. We don't have the exact start date from the contractor. The contractor is going to be Granite Rock, a local contractor, and the contract duration is 30 days. So, like I said, we're anticipating by the end of October it should be wrapped up, weather dependent, but we're hopeful that by again end of October it should be wrapping up, and that street should be resurfaced and freshened up.
And that it really is a very busy street. People who may not live in the area don't realize how much traffic goes on that road. I do have a question for you. Will formal notices be sent out once work begins, perhaps to communicate with the community?
Yeah, good question. And yes, that's one of the important things we do as we get ready for the work. Once the contractor gives us an exact schedule, is letting everybody know like I said, particularly the businesses who have parking in front of their stores or the front storefronts along Salinas Road. We'll be talking to them, hand out mailers. We'll probably be walking the street there and handing out the flyers to folks on Salinas Road. We'll put some changeable message signs. These are those signs that we typically see on construction jobs, alerting about the duration, the hours of work, and those signs will go up at least 7 days prior to the initiation of the activities. We'll also have a web page on our website for details about the project as the work progresses, and we'll also have ability to call in if people have questions, a way to contact us, either email or phone. So we can address any questions that may come up during construction. But yeah, outreach is very important.
Another question for you. What will be done to the sidewalks to make this area more walkable?
Yes, so there's some sections of sidewalks missing where there is either unpaved areas or areas paved with just asphalt. Our goal is to have concrete sidewalks on both sides, the whole length from Railroad all the way to the bridge. And then at the intersections to make sure they have the proper ramps for accessibility. These are for people like on wheelchairs or limited mobility. They have those ramps to get down and up from the sidewalks. And so the whole road will have those ramps. So and then like I said, the crosswalks would be refreshed and new striping to highlight those crosswalks across Salinas Road.
Thank you. And this project comes on the heels of a lot of other safety work that happened in Pajaro. And I'm wondering if you can kind of give us an update, because there were street lights and
Yes.
sidewalk improvements and crosswalk improvements that have been happening over the summer.
Yes, we've done quite a bit in Pajaro. We were fortunate enough about this time last year to be awarded some funds from the state to address some of these deficiencies that the community of Pajaro identified related to the streets. And so we were, with this prior project, we're just on the almost at the end here we were able to install a total of 24 new streetlights to eliminate a number of the areas that were darker and needed some illumination for at night. Then we also added some traffic calming features. This is to reduce either the speed of the cars as much as possible or alert of pedestrians about the traffic. So we added a total of 6 new speed feedback signs. These are the signs that says this is the speed limit, this is your actual speed, so drivers can become aware of how fast they're driving. We also added a total of 27 new pedestrian landing ramps. These are the ramps again that help people access sidewalks with limited mobility. These were all throughout the town. We also improved the crossing of San Juan Road, a very busy arterial at Salinas. We had a number of pedestrians who requested this improvement, so the crossing was made safer. We also added some. We replaced the flashing beacons and the signage at the school on Salinas. We got the middle school there, so we refreshed all the new signs by the current code or standard. So that was done, and then we also are in the process of improving the actual signal controller of Porter and San Juan. This to make the signal operate more efficiently. And Salinas Road is a very busy road. San Juan is a very busy road, so the intersection of those two roads is really congested. So the signal cabinet, new signal controller will help with that. Altogether, this project, the amount of the project or the amount of money we spent on this project is about $1.6 million. So quite a bit of funds were designated for the roads in Pajaro this past summer.
And it is also important, and something that you said, that residents really contributed to the things that they wanted done. This is part of that AB 102 money.
Correct.
Work.
Yeah, there was just to elaborate more on that, there were quite a few workshops that the county held with the community out there in the town of Pajaro, just to get ideas as far as what things from their perspective were needed. And so we had several listening sessions or brainstorming sessions with the community, and we identified a number of things. And then through the vetting process, we kind of put our engineers, in close coordination with the community to see what was feasible, what made sense from an engineering perspective, and that's what we've been implementing this past summer. So.
Thank you, Enrique. And I've got one more question for you. And it refers to the money you just mentioned, the 1.6 million granted for the project. And is that including the Salinas Road, or is that the 1.6 million strictly for the safety improvements?
Correct. So there are two different pots of money we were successful in getting. One was the initial project, which is funded through what we call AB 102 funds. These are state awarded funds for the recovery of Pajaro following the floods. And then the project that's upcoming that we're about to start here is also a state funded project, but it comes from a different source. It's the sort of a called it's an acronym. Everything in the state has acronym. HSIPS is the Hazard Safety Improvement Program, and so that's the state money that we're looking to use for this upcoming project. The one that mentions about $750,000. There is some local match dollars in that project from our Measure X, a locally funded Measure X. So between the HSIP funding from the state of California and our Measure X were able to fully fund that project.
And then one more question about the AB 102 funds. And for the reporter that asked, I think you're inquiring about specifically about the AB 102 monies after this particular construction is completed, and we're talking about the safety construction. Are there any more projects still expected to be done for safety improvements through AB 102?
Not currently planned. I think that's what we have already scheduled to do, and I guess we can monitor how they perform, and if there's a need for more, we can apply for more funding or grant funding if possible.
Okay, thank you. And I hope that answered, yes, it did answer that question. Thank you, Enrique. Thanks very much for bringing us up to date on this project. It's really great news to see all these great things happening in Pajaro.
Yeah, we're excited too. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we were going to go from road work to road trips. If you've ever wanted a close-up look at our local public education programs or a system and take a close-up look at the fantastic work that our teachers and administrators do, you can apparently just hop on the bus now and go inside education. We're very pleased to have Dr. Deneen Guss. She's our superintendent of schools for Monterey County, who's going to tell us about this fantastic program. Hi, Dr. Guss.
Well, hello and happy Wednesday, everyone. I have to say, I love the way you teed this up. Thank you so much. As you can tell, we're very, very excited about the new school year starting and this year's Inside Education program. So I have just a couple of slides that I'd like to share, if that's okay.
Yes, please do.
Screen? Okay, let me see if I can make this technology work. If not, I have Nico here who can help me just in case. But there we go. We got it?
Got it.
Excellent. Yep. So as Mia so beautifully articulated, it is that time of the year where our Inside Education program is launching. In fact, our very first visit is going to happen this Friday. So what I'd like to do is just share with you a couple of slides, tell you a little bit about the program, and then hopefully all of you who are listening today we're hoping you're going to get super excited as well and want to participate. So here we go. First of all, if you're wondering, like, what in the world is Inside Education? It's simply explained like this. It is an opportunity for community members, public leaders, parents, and just anyone who's interested in what goes on behind those classroom doors to actually get into classrooms throughout the county and just experience firsthand teaching and learning. It's a there are 4 sessions to the program, each with a thematic focus that includes site visits, classroom tours, and opportunities to engage with real learning environments. The way it kind of works is it starts at 7:30 in the morning. You meet here at the County Office of Ed, and we feed you a delicious breakfast to get you started off on the right foot. And that lasts from about 7:30 to 8 o'clock. If there's anyone out there who's thinking, I really want to participate, but 7:30 in the morning is just too early for me. If you want to skip breakfast, that's okay. Just come join us at 8 o'clock, where we start off with a program overview. So whatever the theme is for that particular session, and I'm going to kind of go on to the next slide so you get the idea here. So for example, this Friday, sorry, it says include dates. We clearly forgot to include our dates, but don't worry, we're going to link you to how to sign up, and it has the actual dates on that sign up, the registration form. But back to where I was. Each session, there's a different theme. This Friday is special education. And next month, we're going to be focusing on career technical education. A few months later, charter schools. And then our last visit of the year will focus on early learning. So these are the areas that we're going to highlight this year. You come in. We start the overview of that particular thematic area at 8 o'clock. So for example, this Friday, you're going to hear all about special education from 8 to about 8:30. And then everyone who's participating in this Friday's tour we will all go out to the front of the County Office of Education. We'll jump on a school bus, and then we will be driving out to various school sites. This Friday, hold on, I got to put on my glasses here. We're going to be visiting Ruth Andresen School. We're going to visit John Gutierrez Middle School and Arthur B. Ingham School. And in all of these locations, you're going to see various special education programs, learn more about what happens behind those classroom doors, and just have that opportunity to engage, to ask all the questions you'd like to ask, and learn everything there is to learn about this particular topic area. Okay. Now I just want to get you super excited by giving you some visuals of what it actually looks like. Just some of the pictures here kind of give you the overview of some of our past tours. You see a friend there on the, oh my goodness, that one's not the forklift. Can't remember the name of that particular equipment, but that's on one of our career technical education tours, where you not only get to watch the students as their experience in CTE, you too get to try it out and see what you're good at. I have to say, a few years ago, we had the opportunity to drive the forklifts that our students learn how to drive when they're getting their forklift certification. And I was pleasantly surprised that it is very difficult, but very doable. And so it's just exciting opportunities like that. You also see here the picture, right? Oh, let's see, right here. That is our McCate studio, where we literally help kids learn engineering. They learn about the arts and technology and how all of these things work together. I could go on and on and on. You can tell I'm just super, super excited about showing off the great work that's happening in our public schools across Monterey County. But this is just a flavor. Just see some pictures to get an idea of what it's like. Here's a few more pictures. You see some of the participants on the bus traveling. You see the various schools that we visited in this particular year. And every year we change it up. So even if you've participated in the past, you might want to participate again, because you might see a new school or a new program, even if it's the same theme. So this is just, a few visuals to help you get really excited and to get you to want to register. We also wanted to share just a few testimonials. You can see from a county board member who participated last year, and she's going to participate again this year because it was such a positive experience. Just how much she learned by participating. You also see Julia Foster. She was the same person that you saw a few slides ago, driving that piece of equipment. She shares, what I enjoyed the most about the tour was the ability to connect with teachers and school administrators, and the chance to see the education efforts in action. We always enjoy sharing these testimonials because it just kind of gives you a feel for how other people experience the program. The program is absolutely free. And let me now finish telling you about the day. So it starts at 7:30 if you want to eat breakfast. The overview of that particular topic area begins at 8. We load the bus at 8:30. We go out to the various sites, and then we come back here to the County Office of Education, where we feed you a delicious lunch, and then we debrief the experience of the day. We give people an opportunity to ask any questions, to share any of their big aha moments with us. And it's just a beautiful experience for all the participants. So we invite you to sign up. Again, it's absolutely free. I have here on the PowerPoint the link that you can click and register for the program. And again, our first visit starts this Friday with special education. So I really hope that you will join us. We are looking forward to as many participants as we can have that day. Oh, I also should mention, and let me really quickly, I'll stop sharing screen here. There we go. I should also mention that if you're interested in participating, you do not have to participate in all 4 visits. You can pick and choose. You can participate in all 4, or you can attend only one of the tours. The main point that we are trying to make here with this program is that there are great things happening in public education, and we want you to see those great things. We also have many, many challenges. And by getting out into the schools and seeing what's happening behind those classroom doors, you also get to learn about what our challenges are and how you might support and help public education address those challenges. So with that, I will wrap up my presentation and open it up to any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much. And, you're the best cheerleader for any of the programs out of your office ever. But let's talk about who should go, because there may be people who are watching this saying, I feel pretty good about school. My kid's doing well in school. Who are the people that are coming and who should come and find out more?
Oh, that is such a great question. Well, again, it's open to anyone who would like to participate. But I can tell you, in the past, we have had parents participate, and sometimes parents want to participate because they just want to understand all the school options that are available in Monterey County. We have also had heads of agencies participate because they want to better understand how the school systems work and how they might partner with schools. We have had community members who vote on bond measures or parcel tax measures, want to get into schools and really see how their taxpayer dollars are being utilized. We have had various nonprofits participate because they want to have a better understanding of what the needs are of the schools and how their services might provide support to the work that happens in our public school system. And so it's just really a variety of individuals that participate in the program. But we say this: come one, come all, everyone is welcome. We are not afraid to share like what those challenges are. And we always want to develop all the partnerships that we can with various agencies or nonprofits that want to partner with schools. And so the more people that participate, the more partnerships we create, and again, just share the great work of public education.
And this question came in, if this is something a media outlet is interested in covering, is there a different sign-up process?
No, there's two possibilities. They could register and then spend the full day with us. And the reason we ask people to register is because we want to make sure that we have enough room on the bus and that we have enough meals for all the participants. But if a media entity wanted to participate in only a portion of the tour, they could also just call our communications office or go online, send us an email and let us know that you would like to participate, what day, what time. We can give you the full lineup of all the schools that we're going to be visiting on each of these particular dates. And also secure any media releases that the media entity would want to have.
Yeah, I think that in photography, et cetera, is a whole nother spectrum of issues when students are involved. So thank you for answering that question and making that possible. Thank you so much for talking about this program. When people's kids go to school, they could go on this tour and tell their kids they're going to school too with them, right? So
absolutely. In fact,
I'm going to class with you.
That's right. In fact, I have to tell you, many of the prior participants commented on the fact that they never had the opportunity to ride a school bus, or they haven't ridden on a school bus in eons, and just how school buses have changed through the years and how fun it is to actually get on the bus. I teasingly tell people, get on the bus with Dr. Guss.
And is this your last Inside Education series? Because I think you're winding down your time there.
Oh my goodness. So that is a great question. Yes, in 16 months, I'm going to be retiring, and there will be a new county superintendent who will take the helm of the Monterey County Office of Education. We don't yet know who that will be. The election will happen this June. And so it's really going to be up to the new superintendent as to whether or not they would like to continue the program. We have been doing it now, wow, for the last 7 years. And we continue to offer the program because the interest is still there. But I don't know what will happen with the new county super.
Oh, and Deneen froze for just a second. But so if people want to ride the bus with Dr. Guss, they better do it this fall, right?
Yes, just to be safe.
For
Please
sure.
do it this fall.
Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you, as always.
Oh, thank you so much. And we wish everyone a wonderful Wednesday. It's always a pleasure to be here.
So moving on to our last topic, and it is a bilingual topic, so please stay with us for both an English and Spanish presentation. It has never been a better time for local entrepreneurs and small business owners to expand their options. And next week, there is a Central Coast Procurement Expo, which is really going to help develop business opportunities for local businesses. We're very pleased to have Jose Luis Barajas. He's the program manager from Central Coast Small Business Development Center to talk about this. Hi, Jose. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Maya. So I'll just go ahead and jump into the presentation. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be doing this in English and in Spanish. I'll start off with English and then I'll repeat the same presentation in Spanish. So to start off, yes, we are hosting the Central Coast Procurement Expo, where government and business meet in collaboration with our sister program, the Monterey Bay Apex Accelerator. And it's coming back to Salinas. This is our second time hosting it, and it's going to be in downtown Salinas at 1 Main Street. Very briefly, in case you're not familiar with what the small business development centers are, we help businesses start, grow, and succeed. That's our go-to motto. We offer free one-on-one expert business advising, workshops, and resources to small business and entrepreneurs. All of our staff is fully bilingual in English and Spanish, and our main office is located in Salinas, but we also have outreach centers in Soledad and Monterey. I'm actually in Soledad today. And our business advisors speak a multitude of languages, and other languages and physical accommodations are available by request. Now onto the meat and potatoes of this presentation today. So the Central Coast Procurement Expo is something that we started last year in partnership with the Monterey Bay Apex Accelerator, fully recognizing that folks along the Central Coast, particularly in Monterey and San Benito counties, our service area, don't oftentimes have the opportunity to participate in government procurement. So we bring together a variety of different public agencies like CSUMB, Caltrans, City of Salinas, County of Monterey, to come join us, have some representatives there, procurement officers that can speak to what is the process, right? So if I'm a small business owner, say a construction business in Salinas, how can I work towards achieving, securing a government contract so that maybe I'm the contractor that builds the new high school in the district, right? Maybe I can be the contractor that does the striping work on our roads. So it's bringing those resources together along with some resource partners like the Women's Business Centers, the SBA is also there, and other state and federal agencies also join us. Last year's event, we had over 15 agencies present and over 150 attendees, and we're planning on making it even bigger and better this year. It's a free event for attendees to participate in. They can go ahead and scan the link on the screen here, or go to our website at linktr.ee/Central Coast SBDC. It'll be the first link right there. Again, the event is going to be held on Thursday, September 18th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in downtown Salinas. If folks have any questions, they can feel free to direct them towards myself. My contact information is at the bottom of the screen. But we're also going to have some really neat workshops that are led by different experts. We have 3 different topics, and we'll be publishing them later today, actually. We'll be publishing our agenda. And we'll also be joined by one of our county supervisors, Supervisor Luis Alejo, who will be joining us and helping us open up the event. To speak to a little bit more about the importance and the impact that government procurement can have, just want to share a quick testimony from one of the clients that we work with, which is Pacific Paleontology. So Mr. Wayne Thompson is a paleontologist by trade. He was actually a professor at one of the local universities. But during the pandemic, he reached out to the SBDC saying, hey, what if I start my own business, right? And how do I go about that? So at that time, there was something called the California Dream Fund, which is a pandemic-related grant by the state of California, which offered $10,000 to people who completed the CDF, the California Dream Fund training, and the SBDCs were partner in that we were the agency that provided the educational component. So Mr. Thompson reached out to the SBDC, signed up, completed his training with the California Dream Fund, and successfully secured the $10,000 startup grant during the pandemic. He worked really closely with one of our business advisors, Ms. Sharon Michael, who was actually the previous program manager for this center. So he worked with her to establish a very comprehensive business and marketing plan that would set his business up for success and really takes advantage of our on-demand training. So we provide a variety of trainings, whether they be in person, hybrid, or completely online. Most of the time, we end up recording those and provide them in an online database that we have, or library that we host for our clients. All of our services are completely free, so people can just go ahead and sign up. You get a login and password, and you're able to access this library of business information. Since working with the SBDC, Mr. Thompson has secured a multitude of both public and private paleontological mitigation contracts. Say that 3 times really quickly, right? But locally, Mr. Thompson is working on some pretty big projects, right? One of the notable ones is the Imjin Parkway Improvement Project over in Marina. He did the mitigation work up there. He also did the Monterey High School Stadium project, providing the paleontological mitigation there, and is currently working on the MST Surf Bus and Rapid Transit project. And to date, his largest project and contract is the San Jose Alviso Microsoft Data Center up in Santa Clara County. So this is just one example of someone who reached out to the SBDC, didn't necessarily know that government contracting was the avenue that they were going to be pursuing, but through working with our business advisors, established a business plan and a marketing plan that really set them up for success. And since then, Mr. Thompson has gone on to do extraordinary things, even going as far as to win our Central Coast SBDC Business of the Year for this year, 2025. And he was presented with that award back in April at our annual gala. So with that, would you like me to take questions now or after I complete this presentation in Spanish?
Why don't you go ahead and do the Spanish portion first, then we'll take any questions that the people may have.
Okay, awesome. Bueno, pues muy buenas tardes. Me llamo José Luis Barajas, soy el gerente del programa de Centro de Desarrollo de Pequeñas Empresas de la Costa Central. Estoy aquí para compartirle el día de hoy, para compartirles algo de información acerca del Central Coast Procurement Expo, lo cual es un evento que tendremos próximamente aquí en la ciudad de Salinas el 18 de septiembre, que reúne a entidades gubernamentales y agencias públicas con pequeños negocios aquí en la Costa Central para que tengan oportunidades a acceder a la contratación pública. Un poco más acerca del Centro de Desarrollo de Pequeñas Empresas y quiénes somos, qué son los servicios que brindamos. En nuestro centro atendemos a los condados de Monterrey y San Benito y principalmente en lo que nos enfocamos es ayudamos a las empresas a iniciar, crecer y triunfar. Nuestros servicios consisten principalmente de 3 cosas: asesoría empresarial individualizado, talleres y recursos para pequeñas empresas y emprendedores. Es decir, apoyamos a todos los negocios, ya sea que sean establecidos o gusten emprender un negocio. Todo nuestro personal en el Centro de Desarrollo de Pequeñas Empresas es bilingüe en inglés y en español y contamos con oficinas en la ciudad de Salinas, Monterrey y Soledad. Y actualmente, hoy en día, estoy en la ciudad de Soledad, brindando apoyo a los comerciantes y pequeños negocios del sur del condado de Monterrey. Nuestros asesores empresariales hablan una multitud de diversos idiomas y contamos con apoyo en otros idiomas y adaptaciones disponibles si es que se solicitan antemano. Ahora un poco más acerca de este evento en particular. Este evento es el segundo año que tenemos este evento aquí en la ciudad de Salinas y es una colaboración entre el Centro de Desarrollo de Pequeñas Empresas y nuestro programa hermano que se llama Monterey Bay Apex Accelerator. Ellos se enfocan completamente igual, similarmente a nosotros, brindan servicios completamente gratuitos, pero ellos se dedican y especializan en lo que es la contratación pública. En este evento lo que hace es reúne a las agencias públicas, es decir, por ejemplo, al Condado de Monterrey, la ciudad de Salinas, Caltrans, la Universidad de Monterrey, que participen, tengan representantes de contratación pública, de adquisiciones, para que puedan hablar con los pequeños comerciantes y elaborarles y detallarles qué es el proceso para que ellos puedan acceder y participar en la contratación pública. Por ejemplo, que un contratista general aquí en la ciudad de Salinas tenga la oportunidad o mínimo sepa cómo es que ellos pueden licitar para ser la constructora que desarrolla una nueva preparatoria o algún otro edificio o realizar cualquier otro proyecto de obras públicas. Este evento es completamente gratuito para las personas que gusten participar. Para registrarse lo pueden hacer en línea siguiendo la liga que se encuentra en la pantalla, linktr.ee/Centro Coast Expedicio, o pueden escanear el código QR que se encuentra aquí en la pantalla. Nuevamente, el evento se realizará el jueves 18 de septiembre, de 9 de la mañana a 1 de la tarde, aquí en el centro de Salinas. Para elaborar un poco más acerca de la importancia y impacto que tiene la contratación y las adquisiciones públicas para pequeños negocios aquí en la costa central, les voy a compartir el testimonio de uno de los comerciantes con los que trabajamos, el señor Wayne Thompson, quien durante la pandemia, él es un paleontológico, paleontólogo, estoy practicando en español para este término, es un paleontólogo por profesión, era un profesor en una de las universidades locales, pero durante la pandemia tuvo la idea de que, ¿qué es lo que puedo hacer yo como profesionista y realizarlo? En ese tiempo había una beca, una subvención que se conoce como California Dream Fund, que era un programa de la era de la pandemia de apoyo por parte del estado de California. El programa requería que se participara y completara una formación, y se proporcionó esa formación por parte de la SPDC. El señor Thompson tuvo éxito en conseguir la beca inicial de $10,000 para iniciar y arrancar su negocio, y ha trabajado muy cercanamente con nuestros asesores, la señorita Sharon Michelson, que en sí era la gerente del programa, este mismo programa anterior antes que yo, y desarrollar un plan integral para el negocio y de publicidad para que pueda arrancar y tener éxito de negocio. Y él en particularmente toma mucho provecho de los cursos que tenemos disponibles en línea, es decir, impartimos talleres acerca de diversos temas de interés para los pequeños negocios y comerciantes. En el transcurso del año los grabamos y los publicamos en línea en una biblioteca que tenemos disponibles a nuestros clientes. Igual todos nuestros servicios son completamente gratuitos, así que se pueden registrar en línea y acceder a esa biblioteca de información sin ningún costo. Desde trabajar con el Centro de Desarrollo de Pequeñas Empresas, la compañía del señor Thompson, Pacific Paleontology, ha tenido mucho éxito en conseguir contratos públicos y privados. Uno de los proyectos aquí mínimo localmente que tal vez reconozcamos es el proyecto de mejora de Engine Parkway, es decir, la expansión que se está realizando en la ciudad de Marina. El señor Thompson es el que realizó la mitigación paleontológica para ese proyecto, tal como el proyecto del estadio de la escuela secundaria en Monterrey, y más recientemente el proyecto de autobuses y transporte rápido de MST Surf allá en la península de Monterrey. Esto habla un poco acerca qué es el impacto que puede tener la contratación pública en un pequeño negocio. Y lo que queremos realizar con este evento es que más personas, más pequeños negocios tengan la oportunidad y los conocimientos para participar en las licitaciones y adquisiciones públicas. Y habiendo dicho eso, si tienen algunas preguntas, estoy disponible para contestarlas. I'm ready to answer any questions.
Jose, thank you so much for doing that 2 times. A fantastic presentation and a great example of a success story on the program. One of the things that I was wondering is, do you find that people who come to the expo don't realize that local governments do and often may have an emphasis on finding local businesses to make contracts with? I know our county does look first towards local businesses when it puts out something to bid.
Yes, oftentimes we get a good mix of people, right? We get some folks that are already interested. They kind of have an understanding of what the process takes. Maybe they participated in government contract before, but they haven't been too successful at it. So in terms of the breadth of knowledge, it's a wide range of folks that we get. But oftentimes one of the things that folks don't understand is how those local preferences come into play, but also how different certifications come into play, right? Yes, the county has a local preference policy. I believe it's something around 10%, a 10% differential. But there's also set aside programs at the federal and state level in which if you're a minority-owned business, a woman-owned business, a veteran-owned business, those classifications allow you for an additional differential, and or there's typically at the federal level a designated amount of all contracts, say for sake of argument 10 to 15% of all contracts have to go to veteran-owned businesses, right? Sometimes there's those requirements for certain types of public procurement. So there's really a wide range of opportunities for businesses to tap into. But one of the key things, and that I think folks oftentimes miss, is understanding what the government does and does not buy, right? So not every single business type is necessarily going to be able or fit with government contracting, right? Oftentimes we get a lot of catering companies, which there are some catering contracts out there, right, in the public space, but they're oftentimes far and few between, and they're very large contracts. Right. So it's not so much catering for an event or two, it's you're catering for the entire state of California and they need all their meals, right? So the scale that you need to be able to execute that is also something that folks sometimes don't understand. But that's what the event is for, right? To have those conversations, to be able to ask those questions and to hopefully come out with knowing more things than what you went in with.
And you also mentioned federal programs and, women-owned, veteran-owned. Are you seeing any changes in those ratios or those opportunity for minorities, women, any of those programs? Are they still in place? Are they being reviewed?
There's a lot of changes happening at the federal SBA level and at the state level. Our local office at the SBA that's assigned to the state of California is based out of Fresno. So we're still receiving more guidance and we'll provide more information to the public as those opportunities change. But for the time being, it's my understanding that those programs are still intact. However, there is direction to be provided on whether those programs will continue.
And I don't think there's any changes at the state level. California still has a lot of programs in place that really encourage small businesses, minority businesses, women businesses, correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you. I think that's all the questions that I have. Jose, thank you so much for walking us through this 2 times. Really, I hope for hope for a great turnout next week at your expo, and we hope everyone who can get involved does.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Maya. And thank you for the opportunity to join y'all today.
And thanks everyone for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week. We'll see you then.